Hello everyone, Weeper What Ifs here to bring you a new What If. Now, for my fem deku was Kirishima's twin sister, I'm thinking about writing a script for that one, and just redoing it. So yeah. As of right now, that's just in the works. So right now, I'm currently writing a script for a Star Wars. What if? Yeah, a Star Wars worth that takes Deku, turns him into a girl, and puts him in Star Wars. Yeah, so expect that in like the 10,000 years, because this script I'm looking for is taking forever. And this, what if, you know the title, what if Fem Deku was the daughter of All For One? Yep. And I'm sorry for not uploading for like a week. Or so. But I've been stuck. But I've been trying to do the Star Wars script, so it's fucking perfect. Well, not perfect, good. Okay, with that out of the way. Okay, let me... Okay, so yeah, I'm going to explain a few things. Inko, in this, starts off as a common thief. She uses her telekinesis to steal. When she was a teenager, she just pickpocketed people. Mitsuki never found out, of course. But after Inko got out of high school, she moved it up to robbing museums. Priceless paintings, gems, rubies, diamonds, all of that. She would still... Yeah, she still meets Hisashi. Lies about having a job like she did with Mitsuki, her best friend. And one day she'll get a message from an employer she has, and just simply and tell her that All For One has a very old painting. So Inko goes to steal that. But she stole the painting, but then she saw Hisashi in the base, so... And she was confused by why he was there, so she stayed a little bit longer to find out why he was there. and found out that he was all for one, the number one villain. As she runs out of the base and home, she tells her employer she has the painting and she'll bring it to him when she can. Now, when Hisashi came home, she confronted him. About him being the number one villain. He denied it at first, but after she explains to him that she's just a common thief and she stole the painting out of his base as she gestures towards the painting sitting blatantly in the open where it's so obvious it just looks normal. As she expected Hisashi to go off at her, but he never does. She's surprised that the number one villain isn't taking his anger out on her for stealing a priceless artifact out of his own base. Hisashi simply tells her that you can sell the painting to whoever hired you, and then you can join my League of Villains, and she accepts. Now, Hisashi helps her to make her telekinesis quirk even stronger, and helps her with a cool villain costume as well as a mask, because he knows that she has friends that are civilians, so he's going to respect that of her and wear a mask. She makes her debut as a new villain during an attack. She saves multiple villains working for her husband, as all the pro heroes there, including All Might and Endeavor, look at her in confusion as she announces that she is the villain. I didn't think this ahead. She is the villain, as she is the villain Queen Tornado, and the second in command to the League of Villains, as she uses her quirk to make multiple tornadoes, as they kill and severely injure the lower ranking heroes there. While All Might uses wind pressure to keep the tornadoes away from him, while Endeavor tries to use his flames, but they just turn one of the tornadoes into a flaming tornado, which could severely injure the civilians there. As the tornadoes that are on fire, she sends towards the civilians. As All Might and Endeavor stop the tornadoes and let her and the other villains escape. As through the years, she rises through the ranks of villains until she gets to the second villain spot. As she's also training her quirk as the heroes labeled her a capture on sight villain. As they notice she's growing more and more powerful after every battle. As All Might and Endeavor both know that in their last battle, she's powerful enough to decimate a whole city with multiple tornadoes. As by this time, as we see All For One and Inko talking to... I forgot the doctor's name that works for All For One, actually. No, I'm not going to stop it. I'm just going to say, yeah, the doctor that works for All For One. As they're doing a quirk evaluation for their eldest child, Tenkyo Midoriya, I'm going to call him that, Tenkyo Midoriya, as the doctor comes back with the results and says, Well, sir, seems like Tenyo here has a quirk called Decay. As All For One and Inko see this as a very powerful quirk. As Inko asks, how does it work, Doctor? As the doctor simply says that when he touches his all 5 fingers onto someone or something, it will start to decay, crumbling bit by bit. As Inko and Hisashi are both happy for their child's strong quirk, but he's also sad a little bit that his eldest child didn't get his quirk because he wants someone to succeed him. Because even though he can do this forever, he doesn't really want to. As he looks over towards Inko, as she and him are expecting another child, as he's thinking, I really hope my next child will have All For One. As Tenio starts wearing gloves. Gloves for a few years while Inko and Hisashi are both trying to train him to make sure that he can touch something without decaying it with his full hand, or making sure he remembers to have one finger off objects when he doesn't want to decay them. As they're both loving parents, they're villains, yes, but they're not child abusers. As we'll skip another year, and Izumi is born. As both Hisashi and Inko, along with Tenio, are very excited to see a new addition to their family. As the lower villains there are starting to question All For One's mentality, as he has a family. As they all notice them talking, as Kyogiri puts them into a random pit. As they are confused to what's happening, as what All For One just says, "I'm working on a project that can kill All Might. I call it a Nomu. It has super strength and ultra regeneration. In other words, every time it regenerates, it gets stronger and deadlier. And I see this as the perfect time to run a little test." As they hear a door opening, as a big Nomu rushes at them and starts killing them one by one, as their quirks are too weak to do anything to the Nomu. As all of them saw, as all the other low-level villains were taught to never question All For One again, but Inko and All For One saw a few flaws with the Nomu that they can tweak out or or they can enhance those problems to help the Nomu instead of hinder it. As for the final, for a few years, Izumi's just been a normal child, just in a villain family, as she just as one day Tenio and Izumi are playing around in their house, in their backyard. Inko and Hisashi are doing plans for another villain attack so that they can field test the Nomu, as all they hear is their daughter scream, so they run out the back to see what's happening, and all they see is Izumi panicking and Tenio just up in the air. As Hisashi gets Izumi to calm down, As this is when Tenio starts to fall to the ground, as Inko catches him and just puts him on the ground safely. As they both reckon Izumi has a telekinesis quirk, and a pretty powerful one if it's able to lift an 8-year-old off the ground. As Hisashi calls the quirk doctor that works for him. I cannot remember the name, I am sorry guys, shoot me in the comments. As he comes to the house to do the quirk assessment test on Izumi. As he comes back and says, "Congratulations, sir. Your daughter has a very powerful telekinesis quirk." As he's sad that another one of the children didn't get his quirk until the doctor says, well, that's not her main quirk. As they both look at him shocked, as Inko said, not her main quirk? The quirk doctor says yes, it's one of her stockpiled quirks. You mean, doctor, that she has... Yes, sir. She has all for one. And she already has a very powerful telekinesis quirk already stockpiled. As Hisashi is happy that her daughter has one for, but he's confused to why at birth she already had a quirk stockpiled for 1-4. All for one, not 1-4, as he theorizes that the DNA couldn't decide on... He writes it down as genetics. Don't really didn't know what quirk to give her, so they just blended off one with her mum's telekinesis quirk. So yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna explain it like that, guys. Don't at me. As the quirk doctor then says, well, on her permanent medical record, I've put it down that your daughter here has a telekinesis quirk. So what you guys do can be kept secret. As they're happy about the latest development of what's happened. Tenyo sort of understands what's going on, as Izumi's just really confused to what's going on. As later that day, they explain everything to Izumi. As she's still doesn't really understand, but understands a little bit. As she tells all of her friends in preschool that she has a telekinesis quirk. As I'm going to stop it here. I'm going to do middle school in the next part. So yeah. Oh, and well, her hair, well, what you see in the picture isn't what she's going to look like all the time, but the dark green with light green hair in this picture is what her hair does look like. So yeah. Yeah, and I have a question for you. If you know who Tenio is in this What If, please comment down below. And Reaper is out.